when you lose confidence in the money, then you start thinking about commodity monies. If I can't trust the bank, if I can't move the money cross border, and if the currency is losing value every year or every month, then I start thinking about commodity monies. And so the thing everybody's been talking about is, what are the commodity monies? Is it gold? Are we going to trade oil? Are we going to move timber, soybeans? Well, what are your choices? If you want to move $10 million in gold, that's 350 pounds. So when it comes time to actually trade $10 million of gold, it's going to cost you $250,000 in insurance and shipping fees to move 350 pounds of gold. If I wanted to move $10 million of oil, that's 125,000 barrels of oil. That's $400,000 to ship the oil from New York to London. Okay, that doesn't make any sense, not to mention the fact the average person doesn't have space for 125,000 barrels of oil. You want to move, property, $10 million of property is an apartment building. How do I move an apartment building from Africa to South America to North America? That's not happening at all, right? So what about a painting? Okay, well, a painting's pretty efficient, a $10 million painting. The problem is it's physical, it's fragile, it's non-fungible, which means that it might burn, it might get soaked, it might get lost, it might get stolen. But if it doesn't get any of those things and you want to trade it to the rich counterparty in London, you're paying anywhere from $500,000 to $2 million in auction fees just to trade $10 million of money in the form of a painting. So, what do we have left, right? I mean, securities, you can't move $10 million of stocks across a border because they're trapped by the counterparty. Holding $10 million of an ETF at 50 to 100 basis points a year is going to cost you $500,000 to $1 million to store your money in securities. So now you see, what's $10 million of Bitcoin? 300 Bitcoin. So I can have 300 Bitcoin on a hardware wallet. I could, in theory, just remember it with a 12-word seed phrase. I can move it cross-border anywhere in the world. By the way, compare 300 Bitcoin as money versus a yacht. A $10 million yacht is 125 feet long, costs $2 million a year to maintain, and costs you $200,000 to move from America to Europe in about 4 weeks or 3 weeks. So you can see all the other forms of commodity money. They're not fast. They're expensive to maintain. They're physical, they're fragile, they're non-fungible, the fees are exorbitant. So if the world's struggling for a solution to commodity money, Bitcoin is the king commodity. It's better than every other physical commodity because it's digital, which means I can carry it in the palm of my hand. Try carrying 125,000 barrels of oil in the palm of your hand. It's better than that. And it's also better than every other commodity because it's scarce. It's a scarcity. If the price of oil goes up by a factor of 10, if the price of gold goes up by a factor of 10, if the price of anything goes up by a factor of 10, the collective intelligence of 8 billion people will produce more of it. But Bitcoin is the one thing you can't produce more of. So Bitcoin's the apex money because it's scarcity and it's digital. And of course, it's the dominant crypto network in the world. It's the one that everybody trusts. It's the one that's truly decentralized. It's the one that's acknowledged as an asset without an issuer. So I think the meltdown of the banks and the meltdown of currencies is driving a stampede of smart money to Bitcoin.